welcome back for another week of League of Legends. Sorry, it's been a while. It's been 2 or 3 weeks now since we had a game casted on the live stream. But my name is Cardinal. I'll be casting today's NECC National Semifinal against Southern Virginia University. Syndra ban and Swain ban. This Swain ban is we see this every single week. A Hui ban coming out. DH have done their research on SVU. A lot of priority towards those mages, and Hui apparently is a flex pick for support as well. Alistar ban comes out. Junior catching 2 of these bans now. Let's see what the third one is. I'm not going to try to get Malphite ban. Beautiful. Malphite was a topic of discussion. And a Gnar ban coming out. That's absolutely... that's such a good ban, honestly, from SVU. I've been talking about it for weeks now, about how if you want to beat DH, target their mid laner, target their top laner. The champ pool is definitely the most limited there. So taking away the Gnar, Max has played probably about 6 or 7 games of Gnar in a row, especially following that best of 5 where I believe he played all 5 games of Gnar. And so we're going to see how DH respond with the Kalista. Not typically a pick that you see from DH, but I believe that that is one of SVU's priority picks, and so that is great that DH decide to take it away and free up one of the bans. Xin Zhao getting picked here. Xin Zhao is actually really, really strong right now. Great jungler. Vicar being picked. That's honestly a pretty good pick, I would say. Able to space well on the map, and also that is one of Crow's picks. Maybe not necessarily a priority, but helping take some away. The Ahri is open for Crow. The Ahri, the Galio, the Orianna, and now that the Victor has shown early, I mean, he really has the option to counter pick into this. The Galio pick does come out. SVU have to be careful though. This is a flex. This can be played on both roles. It's something that DH has worked really hard. And Galio is really, really strong. Good supportive setup. Good ultimate. Taunt is absolutely massive. I really like Galio as a champion for DH, especially because they do love fighting in the 20 to 30 minute range. And let's see what this third pick here. If I had to guess, maybe... I mean, they could drop a top laner since the Gnar is banned. Oh, Mordekaiser. That's interesting. Able to isolate the 1v1s with his ultimate. That's an interesting pick. I haven't seen Max play Mordekaiser in an official match, at least not off the top of my head, as SVU do pick the Thresh. So I do wonder what the second phase bans are going to look like for SVU. I presume maybe they ban the Ahri out. I think the Ahri is a pretty good pick, at least individually for Crow, if this Galio isn't moving. Jarvan ban coming out. Kevin really hasn't leaned towards the Jarvan though in the past few weeks. So he is really strong, really good engage. But I'm not exactly sure if DH were looking to prioritize Jarvan in the draft. Let's see what DH have to ban. ADCs and a top laner left. If I had to put my money on it, it is probably Yasuo. I was gonna say Ornn, but that's honestly a pretty good ban. Apparently their ADC plays Yasuo. SVU undefeated, by the way, this season, and so this is definitely going to be a uphill battle for DH. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're underdogs, since they did lose a close series against ECU, a lot of U teams, University, on the Nunu ban. So Kevin getting targeted here, but the mid options are really, really safe. Let's see how Kevin will respond to this in Zhao after this ban. Sorry, if I had to guess, probably Wukong. I think Wukong's such a good champ for Kevin, especially in combination with the Galio. It's just a bouncy house, right? Junior still needing to take his pick, or mid laner, really. The Varus man. Interesting. Okay, so I'm really curious. I believe that is a double ADC ban. The Ornn does come out that I spoke about previously that they opted not to ban. But Mordekaiser into Ornn, I'm not exactly sure how that matchup plays out, but Ornn is a relatively safe champion. A lot of good engage with his ultimate, so we will see how that plays out. SVU really do have quite a bit of engage with the Ornn, with the Zinzao, with the Thresh. So the Wukong pick does come out in combination with the Galio. I really like that pick from DH. Now we'll see where this Galio goes, if it's going to be a mid pick or a support pick. If I had to guess, it probably is going to be a mid pick. Maybe whatever they prefer into Victor. Just from watching many of DH's games last season, the Galio support is and has been pretty strong for Junior so far. The Braum. Alright, so the Galio will stay mid. A lot of melee champions this game. I'm a big fan of games with a lot of melee champions. Lucian does come out. Lucian Thresh. I think this is going to be a banger game, really. Lots of engaging. There should be lots of fights, especially in the mid to late game. This is going to be a brutal bloodbath for DH. But we're going to cut to break right now. We'll restart the feed once the game is live, and we're going to hop into game 1 of DH versus SVU national semifinals. Alright guys, we're gonna hop on into this game. Game 1. It's gonna be an absolute banger here. Wait. Surely not, right? If you look on the right side of the screen, it does say Lucian has TP. Is this Lucian mid? I don't think so. Wait, it is. I think it is Lucian mid. DH going for a little bit of bush cheese here. Let's see if they are able to catch possibly Victor here. Thresh would be late to cover. Lucian maybe a little bit as well. Let's see if this bush cheese will work. Oh, Victor pokes him out. That's absolutely a huge check. Does actually a fair bit of damage if you combine all 5 people, right? But pretty uneventful other than Lucian going mid with the CP. It'll be interesting to see this matchup. SVU likely preferring the Lucian into the Galio, as we have a little bit of a dance off here. Oh, Lucian is kind of cooking. Oh, he kind of hit in that. Lucian kind of did hit that. Might have to give that one to Lucian as SVU go up 1-0 in terms of the dance battle. But yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see how this Lucian mid does into the Galio. The Galio able to resist a lot of the damage that Victor does. So opting to play in this bot lane. I hate AP carries in bot lane. It's mega cringe, but do what you have to do to find the matchup, right, to win, and I respect that the most. So we shall see. Maybe if we could get if we can lock into the bot lane action, see how it's going. I want to see how this Kalista plays. I don't remember Kalista ever being played by DH. At least not in official matches. So, looking to hit level 2, maybe to start the trading here. A lot of action on his top side. Max does have the wave pushing on level 2 as well. I was going to let this wave crash. Maybe get a ward on the brush. Big vision score. Wait, this is how is invading into the Krugs. There's a lot of things going on right now. SVU's jungler taking a proactive approach. Kevin's going to be absolutely caught off guard. I didn't really keep track of this Xin Zhao pathing. I believe... Oh, he went red to invade. That's a great gank from Michael Yagubian. What a name, by the way. Absolute banger, but SVU... able to take an early jungle lead, but this Ornn is getting chunked out by the Mordekaiser. I don't think this Ornn, even though he has chunked out the Mordekaiser by a fair bit, it's pretty hard to find this kill pressure here, unless he's able to find, you know, a big knockup. And even so, if Mordekaiser has Conqueror, I think he should technically win in theory if it all plays out correctly. But just gonna look to farm the wave as this bot lane of DH is getting pushed into tower. Thresh, that's a hook that landed. Can we go back to the bot lane really quickly? Nothing came out of that hook. Kismet taking relatively no damage. I presume that Junior was able to cover him decently off of the hook as well. But yeah, typically with DH, like I said, or like I have said in big knockup, big taunt. Jungler's not there to cover though. With this 1v1, I don't think he can. Lucian just has more sustained damage once all the Galio cooldowns are out. Flash comes out. It should be 1-for-1. Oh, Lucian gets out. It's a little aggressive from Galio. No help from the jungler. Maybe he was stalled up by the Xin Zhao. Oh, Spy Battle. SVU able to get the crab in the river. And like I said, on the Galio, I mean, once the Galio uses all of his abilities, and not that he does particularly a lot of damage, but especially once he's out, Lucian is just able to out damage sustain him, which is exactly what happened in that fight, even though the Galio landed all of his abilities. So maybe a little too aggressive, especially with no jungle cover, as SVU take the first blood. This Lucian mid, I'm not totally convinced. I'm going to need to see how it plays out a little bit longer. I think that's more of a misplay by Crow, by Doombot Pike in the mid lane, more so than it is Lucian takes pain on. As this Ornn is getting his wave bouncing, and the Drake spawn coming up, maybe if DH can get some more prio, in the bot lane as Junior looks to walk up, maybe land some autos onto the Victor. Yeah, this APCs in bot lane are just so good at poking you out, right? Like, can't really play in the wave, you just get chunked out. Galio is walking down, there could be a gank flick on this. A big knockup and taunt needs to land. Knockup doesn't land, but double taunt comes out for the Galio. Kalista is looking to walk this down. TP is coming out from the top side by the Lucian. This Lucian is here to cover. Can they play this? Everyone's really low. They need to look to play onto this Lucian to even this out. That is a massive kill on the Lucian from the Kalista. So I believe this Kalista is up 2 kills now as Dominguez Hills come out relatively well from that fight. Yeah, Kalista 2-0 relative to the Victor, but the Lucian 2-1 and has call. Yo, we're gonna have another conversation about this item. I've done more research, and you know, that item is now that I've educated myself, item's actually not useless, but not convinced it's of its value. I feel like personally, longsword is longsword OP, especially any upfront damage that he can have to pressure Dubop. I really think that the way you beat DH is beating him in the first 10 to 15 minutes, because DH can have a pretty sketchy early game sometimes, especially on this mid lane. You know, if you're able to pressure him out, Dubop heavily, there are some games where, you know, he'll get caught pretty often as DH are looking for this bot side play. Kevin is here to cover, but he's going to walk through a brush if they can slow chase. This flash comes out from Kismet. He's starting to poke those spears into the Thresh. This should be a kill, possibly, maybe, as he pulls the spears out, and that is a kill onto the Thresh. This DH boss side has been so consistent, and that's, you know, that's where Junior and Kismet play. 2 of the highest ranking members on DH. Not exactly sure who's ranked higher, Kismet or Kevin, but there's a lot of elo on the bot lane relative to a lot of the teams that are playing, and that's where DH's consistency really comes from. I mean, Max and Crow. I mean, Kevin has really been an anchor too. Really, the wild cards of the team's success is Max and is Crow to see, you know, how many plays can they make, how many mistakes can they prevent. You know, as DH do take the first dragon, and Kevin is on the Xin Zhao's blue buff. It's absolutely massive to get back. Get your get back. He's getting his get back from the level 1 invade. So love to see that. Xin Zhao on his Raptor. So a lot of counter jungling here. That's gonna need to be kept track of. As there's another boss side play, Kevin using his R. Galio taunt is here as well. Lands a double taunt and the knockup, but not enough CC or damage to follow through. And SVU's bot lane survive another wave from DH. As Galio bases, this Lucian is going to build such a fat lead. Not really sure how worth that is, especially, you know, not getting kills from that exchange. Ornal comes out. There are 2 people on this Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser having to flash out. Xin Zhao doesn't land. So Max able to get out, having to use the flash, but overall not terrible, you know. A lot of plays being made from both DH and SVU. I really think this is going to be a proactive game. That's why I've been saying it's going to be a banger. Because I don't know much about SVU, but from what I'm seeing so far, really there's a lot of proactivity, a lot of plays that are trying to be made all across the map. And even though they're not necessarily playing out, there's still a lot of action going on all across the map. As Lucian having a 2-level lead over the Galio. I mean, the Galio has been trying to create plays and cover all over the map, but sacrificing, you know, his own levels and his own CS as he hits level 7. This Ornn TPing back to lane as maybe we get a little bit of fighting on this top side. Max having to clear out this wave. This player on the Ornn. Good Q proc there. Yeah, I think this top side battle should be relatively stale just because the Ornn is so tanky. The action is definitely going to be happening on these bot side ganks and these bot side plays. Really, I really need Crow to play at a level where I think prioritize himself sometimes. You know, I'm not in the comms and I don't know what plays are being called for, but I think one of EH's weakest games so far is games where Crow really doesn't have the damage to follow up. I mean, the Galio ult is always useful, right? But you really need like the damage and the tankiness to be able to make plays on the Galio, I feel like. And so he definitely needs some resources put onto himself, especially if these bot plays aren't panning out. And I feel like DH's bot lane do a good enough job on their own of building the lead that they don't necessarily need 4 people on this bot side. A lot of screaming coming out from outside. We're on a little bit of delay, so I presume something good is happening, hopefully. We will see in about 3 minutes whether it was good or bad. But yeah, I mean, the action has been relatively steady for 10 minutes. I haven't been keeping super hard track of the grubs. I believe it was, let's see, SVU was able to get the first set of grubs. I think DH will need to set up to contest the second set as to avoid getting or giving SVU a large buff. And that looks like Kevin is doing that right now. Zinzao is walking up top. And so I think there's going to be a big grub fight right here. SVU has Prio. Kalista able to find a kill onto the Victor. They're looking to go for this Thresh. I think this should be a double. They're going to chase it down with the Spears. That should be a double for Kalista. This Kalista pick has really paid out. As DH, you know, they need to look for this grubs. Kevin does have ult. Galio does have ult. They can contest this. It's a 3v3 on this top side. They need to get this last grubs. But it looks like they're going to give here. So honestly, I'm not the happiest per se that DH gave up the set of grubs. I mean, it's not ideal, but you got a double kill on the boss side. You really don't want to give, you know, mid and top a lead here. Just let them take the grubs, take your double kill, just call it even, and continue playing out the game as the gold. DH a little bit behind, about 500 gold behind, but not the worst. Probably the gold deficit is coming from the mid lane. About 50 CS different. Like I said, 57 CS at 12 minutes. Really not the greatest. Crow definitely needs all the CS and all the resources in order to match this Lucian. Otherwise, he's just going to free farm. And I mean, and he has a call, and so his gold will spike as well. See what's going on. A little bit of bot leg action going on right here. Zinzao is in a position to contest the Drake. I haven't been. Yep, the Drake is up. He's hitting the Drake. Where is my jungler? Oh, he's in the brush. This might be a play here. We do have Galio ult. Galio ult is coming down. Kalista. Oh, Galio finds a kill. They're going to chase this out on the Drake. Zinzao is able to get it, unfortunately, but they're going to chase this out down. There should be a kill. Double for Crow, and they're going to look to chase this down. Can we get a third? Miscue from Max. Unlucky. But DH get 3 in exchange for the Dragon. Orin will build up his lead on the top side as Max was here to cover. But that's not bad. And Crow getting the 2 kills is going to help build his lead back up. He should get some free farm, should get some tower plates in exchange for these Orin plates. So honestly, pretty good from DH. It would have been more ideal if they got the Drake. Wow. That's a little aggressive from Kevin, looking to collapse on this as they look for the tower buy. This Braum is taking a lot of damage, but the Kalista is poking though. As Junior goes down to this Victor, that's not great. I mean, I didn't really see the angle. I felt like the wave was relatively big, and there wasn't really like an engaged setup. Base from Galio doesn't get canceled luckily, but this Lucian will look to build a lead. Kevin is here to cover, thankfully. Otherwise, this could be this tier 1 down. DH have the kills, but ideally you're just looking to get more, you know, objectives or whatnot. But still, even game. Relatively even map state. I will say the Orin is probably ahead in gold somewhat just because of the amount of plates that he got. Orin coming down and is in. I'm looking for this gank on the top side. Is anyone here to cover, knock up on the Mordekaiser? This should be a kill. Having to flash out same angle, but Zinzao is able to chase the Mordekaiser down. Yeah, this I think both teams junglers have done a really good job of matching each other in terms of creating plays. DH's boss side should have a relatively big lead though, as Thresh looks for a hook. They need to be careful though. Kalista is down a level, unfortunately. Not really sure about the math on that, but maybe a little too low to chase down unless there is a play being made. Kevin is here to cover. They could go for this. Does Victor have... Victor does have flash. Thresh does have heal, so might be a little hard, but Kevin is under tower covering. Let's see if they can make a play. Is there any cover? No, Zinzao is basically on the top side. And a lot of pings. Can't really tell what the ping is. The screen is a little small as thumbs out comes out from Junior, but no invade happening from Kevin. He's just clear upwards, I believe. Maybe I would like to see Kevin give Max some help here. I really don't think that Max and Crow get a lot of help in order to like build our leads, whereas SVU's jungler I think has done a pretty good job of pressuring Max and at the very least, you know, getting his flash out as EH loses bot tower. So I believe the next, whoever gets the next objective should get feats, and feats really strong item. Actually, if we can talk a little bit about the next patch. As a big, you know, I said it, engage onto the mid lane. I got a little bit distracted, but a big kill onto the Lucian. We need to start snowballing this lead. Crow needs to start getting the CS in as this top side really has too much health for each of these tanks to do anything. Kevin is here to cover, landing hits on the sit down. The Ornal will come out. Will it land? Doesn't land though. In the E, they're gonna look to collapse on this Ornn. 4 members here. Taunt should come out. This should be an Ornn dead. Eing out and flashing, but I think the flash was a little bit unnecessary. This Zinzao getting chunked up to half HP. They should look to play for this top tower, I think. This Zinzao is basing. They just need to push in the wave and get this tower. Oh, they're rotating for Herald. That's even better. Just needs to be careful. E doesn't land, Q doesn't land. Well played. From this Zinzao, able to dodge from the kind of skill shots, looking to clear the wave and base, but this should be grubs. Really, the best case scenario for DH here would to be to get the Herald, and then probably use the Herald on mid for second Drake, or third Drake rather. Sorry, and I think that would give them feats. Wait, no. Could we get a scoreboard check? Sorry about that. I'm not really... Oh, my bad. SVU already has a feeds. A little bit of miscounting from me. 2 sets of grubs and 1 Drake. Yeah, that makes sense. Really, that second Drake, it was super lucky. DH made a great team fight angle out of it, but weren't able to get it. It was super close. I think maybe just outsmited. As SVU set up for the second Drake. Can we get a Herald down? The Galio is a little bit late, but has the ult to get there quickly. The Mordekaiser is just not there at all. It's going to take him about 20 seconds to even beat up into the fight. Kevin looking for an engage. Does have the ult. He could go for this. They do steal it. There's going to be an absolutely massive fight. They're going to look to chase this down. Bramo comes out. Kevin, ult comes out. They're going to chase it down. Ornn ult. Big follow-up, but doesn't really do much here. DH are going to look to chase this down. Orange is in the backline. Big knock-up. And Kevin play this. He's going to go down. Junior's a little bit isolated as well. They're looking for a kill on this Lucian. Big stun coming out. The Kalista needs to play. But the Kalista goes down. This is a little bit of a mess from DH. I don't know how DH only come out of that fight with 1. I mean, they get the Drake, but I think so much damage coming out from the Lucian and a little bit of split fighting coming out from DH. Really, DH just need to look for one side to either path up or path down, because there was a big root on the Victor in the brush. Or the TP could be away, as we see as you hear from Max. Is able to get away. But yeah, I mean, DH a little bit split there on that fight. I thought it was super duper close, especially with the ult that DH have at their disposal. The Braum ult was good. The Wukong ult was good. The Ornn ult was good. Just or not the Ornn, the Ornn ult. Sorry, the Galio ult. But just no follow up. Maybe missing a little bit of damage from either support or mid laner. Just no follow up. And like I said, Crow really you want him to have more damage on Galio, even though he's not necessarily a damage dealing champ. If we could get a quick look at the items really quickly. I'm trying to see what he's on. He built Thorn Mail. I mean, it makes sense within the context of laning against Lucian, but I'm not necessarily sure that you should be building necessarily towards laning against Lucian, since Galio provides, you know, so much more. Whereas, you know, you could be going, can't think of league items off the name of my head, but, you know, like AP tank items. I think Radiant Hollow, Riftmaker, things like that would, you know, provide a lot of damage, which the Galio is just lacking right now because he has Thornmail. DH's boss side, down levels as well. You know, I don't really know how the game state got into this situation. I thought DH have been relatively in it for a large part of the game, but I think honestly the Lucian just free farming is what's costing DH right now. No start on the Otacon just yet from SVU as DH look to take some vision on this boss side. There is a larger group here though. Kalista's going to push out this mid wave and rotate, but this possibly is a 5v5. Galio is basing. He should have an item in base. As SVU look to start this, I mean, are they just going to give it up? I think DH are just giving up. They're opting to push in waves. Max should get this top tower, but that's a rough one. I just don't think that DH, even if they were in a position to set up and contest it, I don't know if they have the damage to follow through on it. As Galio is here, but he's just kind of not in the play right now, and he's gonna lose a lot of farm as this Lucian and this Inzao pushing this bot tower. It's a lot of gold loss. I think that's a little bit of a misplay, basing, and then I mean, he eventually does catch the wave, but you know, basing and walking back towards the Otacon when the play was dead, and now he's down 70 CS. And the upgraded IE from the Ornn. One of the many positives of Ornn. But yeah, I mean, this Lucian is just so far ahead. So is this Victor. And honestly, I think that's a missed cannon as well, but what a great call to swap from SVU. I mean, they're putting this DH bot lane in a deficit, and it's gonna be a uphill battle. Only down 4k gold. If they can find something onto this Lucian, no engage from the Braum, really, and the Wukong not in position to follow up either. So just gonna look to push out lanes, as this Drake will be spawning in about a minute. Little bit of bush cheese. I see the vision. I'm just gonna start this. So getting this would be absolutely massive. SVU's rotates have been so good. They always have 4 or 5 members. Yup, the TP is coming down on the mid wave. Mordekaiser is TPing the match, but he's a little bit late. This Ornn does have ult. Is going to have a very big setup if he lands into the river. DH needs to be careful. This Galio is spacing. Uses his taunt early. DH going to look to finish off this Drake. Big Ornn coming out. That's a big knockup. Kevin does get the Drake, and there's going to be a massive fight. Victor takes down the Galio. Zinzao takes out the Braum. They're going to chase this down. They're going to chase the Wukong down. That's I mean, SVU just played that perfectly. They're spacing. They just played, you know, heavily in the top side of river, and they're going to look to take this inhib. I think that's a horror from DH. Even though they did get the Drake, it's just they're so behind. I think the Galio pick, while not necessarily bad, you just lost so much CS there. Yeah, I'm not a Galio expert, but I'm not so sure with his Galio build. I understand that the Lucian is strong, but going Jakchos and yeah, there's just no damage. He's just a tank, and he's really embracing being a tank. But the champ, you know, it's still good to have damage on Galio, I think. So Callista 6-2, down 2 levels though. I don't know how XP in this game works. Can we get a CS check? Thank you to my to our wonderful employee staff member Brian for running the stream. He's nodding right now. Shout out my goat. Couldn't do it without him. But yeah, I guess this Victor 4-1-8 with a 400 gold shutdown. And yeah, DH's CS numbers very, very underwhelming. As DH down 8k gold, it's definitely yeah, these the Galio items are a little bit bewildering to me. I'm not convinced to the impact of those items, but we shall see. I could be wrong. Just like the thing with League of Legends, right, is I feel like damage and CC are so important, right? Like you need damage to like pressure them. Oh, Junior's on a ward. Needs to be careful here as the shield goes out, but I do think he will get caught. The Callista ult, massive, by the way. That's honestly such a good play, but I think they're going to lose Baron for this. SVU doing this relatively quickly, already down to about half health. DH, this Mordekaiser is here, but I don't think he can get contest as he gets hooked in by Thresh. Having to flash out, but I think he's dead. Yeah, this Lucian is just too strong on this mid lane. That's a rough one. That's a rough one for sure. Yeah, DH in a really difficult situation. And honestly, I think it's at the point where you just need to look to the next draft. I mean, DH have Soul on the board, but these river fights are just getting blasted by Ornn, right? It's definitely a dire situation right now. Callista down 3 levels. It's hard to tell what Galio's level is, but I presume the Galio is down a lot of levels as well. The number's so hard to see. Only down a level actually, and the CS numbers are catching up, but it's maybe too little, too late. Just no damage at all for the side of DH. The Callista was able to do damage early on, but I think that the Ornn and the Xin are just putting in so much work. As SVU just look to shove this mid tower with the Baron buff. I don't think DH can stop this. I think it would require a really big engage, and I don't know if DH have it in them. I mean, the counter engage from Ornn and the ability for Victor to just walk away is really so strong. And while I think the early game, the Thresh necessarily didn't have the most perfect of games, I think the Thresh has been super impactful, especially in these team fights. SVU doing a really good job of team fighting as they look to collapse on the Braum. Too much damage from the Lucian. If I had to guess, probably like at 4 items now at this point. As SVU just look to shove this down. Ordalt coming down. Should land on this Callista. See, that's a beautiful play. Taunt comes down, but no damage to follow up. The Galio having to flash out, can't do anything, and he should go down. That's absolutely beautiful from the Thresh and the Ornn to hook in the Callista and, you know, just get ulted. DP coming out for the Mordekaiser, but it's too late as his Baron buff is hitting the towers, and it's pretty much GG as DH will fall 1-0 in this national semifinal, and SVU continuing their rampant run of their undefeated season.
tunnel vision. Lost my grip, so addicted. Your body's my condition. Ready to go the distance. Can't help but feel forbidden to this vibe you've been given. Purged of my inhibition. Prepare to lose control. Prepare to lose control. Prepare to lose control. You give me tunnel vision. Lost my grip, so addicted. Your body's my condition. Ready to go the distance. Can't help but feel forbidden to this vibe you've been given. Purged of my inhibition. Prepare to lose control. Go, yeah. Give me prepare to lose control. Prepare to lose control. You give me tunnel vision. Lost my grip, so addicted. Your body's my condition. Ready to go the distance. Can't help but feel forbidden to this vibe you've been given. Purged of my inhibition. Prepare to lose control. You give me tunnel vision. Lost my grip, so addicted. Your body's my condition. Ready to go the distance. Can't help but feel forbidden to this vibe you've been given. Purged of my inhibition. Prepare to lose control.
Watch me go, see me glow. Steady hands move forward, one hand in mine, step at a time. We light the sky, we're taller. So hold on, we're all eyes on us this time.
back, guys, for draft 2 of game 2 of this semifinal for NECC Division 6 Nationals, I believe, as the bands from SVU will look relatively the same, or the same rather. Swain and Alistar, bands coming out. Not broke, don't fix it. DH opting to ban the Victor here, as it's proven to be a little bit of a flex going into the ADC role, and so they opt to not play against it at all. SVU banning Gnar. I think Gnar is probably Max's best champ. Makes a lot of sense. Last ban from DH, gonna be quick and easy. Syndra, 3 mages being banned out for SVU, and so let's see what they'll play. Their Lucian mid was quite strong. I think at the early stages of the game it was about even with the Galio, but the kill in the brush really just set the Galio back. So let's see what DH will opt to pick on this red side. SVU going Xin Zhao, like I said, very, very strong, and he was able to get a lot of value on the Xin Zhao. So like I said, not broke, don't fix it. High priority for SVU, obviously. Let's see what DH have to pick into this. Zaya, let's see the second pick. By the way, Malphite not banned. The Ornn is open. I presume SVU will go Malphite at some point, because from my knowledge, it does seem like they enjoy playing that champ. And I mean, SVU's team fighting was immaculate, especially on the boss side river with the Ornn. As the Orianna gets picked, opting not to play the Ahri, interestingly enough. But a lot of setup with the ults, shield, boost movement speed. Let's see how it goes. I maybe would have preferred the Ahri, a lot of mobility. Lulu gets picked. Gosh. I presume it's going to be an ADC pick here. Varus Lulu. A lot of team fighting. It's going to be really hard to engage with the Lulu ult. Not that DH particularly have a lot of engage right now. The Varus ult is going to have a lot of poke, cover a lot of range. Xin Zhao is relatively good, or pretty good at counter engaging as well, or peeling off, as Jax does get picked by DH, probably Max's second best champ. And so we'll see how the second phase bans go. I presume it'll be a Jarvan ban like before from SVU, although I could be incredibly wrong. DH banning the Malphite. Maybe an Ornn ban. I thought the Ornn brought a lot of value. Yep, the Jarvan ban comes out from SVU. Maybe DH. I think they should ban Ornn, at least on my previous information of last game. I thought that the Ornn just did so much damage in the river, just sending trains back and forth. Absolutely criminal. But we'll see what they feel. What needs to be picked? Top and mid. They could, I believe last time they banned Yasuo. Yup, there you go. Yasuo ban. Although a Rakan. Oh, just taking away the Saya Rakan combo. Let's see what is left to pick. It's jungler support. I think DH need some type of hard engage here from Kevin. Maybe like think a Nocturne. Just really think that goes in. I think is super, super good here. Nunu. Alright. See, was Nunu banned the last game? Well, Nunu does go in, just in a different way. DH is gonna have a lot of early game prio, just because the Nunu is so active all across the map. As SVU hovering Vladimir, will they lock it in? I think they did. So Vlad could be played top, could be played in mid. Garen also can be played pretty much anywhere, but I presume it'll be Vlad mid, Garen top. And let's see what DH's last pick is. Needing a support, opting to go for the Nautilus. That would be a great form of engage. Let's see if Junior will lock it in. I presume so. Nautilus. Alright, so SVU opting to go with the same jungler, but switching up their comp, almost in its entirety, opting to go for the Garen instead of the Ornn. They do have the Varus ult. I think SVU do have a lot of survivability. I'm not sure how I like their draft relative to their previous one, though. I thought their last draft was just immaculate in the team fights. Lots of chanting going on outside. I don't know if anyone could hear that, but the boys are hyped up. The boys are ready to play. And I think DH have put together a really good draft. I think Kevin, a lot of weight is going to be on Kevin to get a lot of value in this early game. The Orianna, we really need Crow to play at a level where he's at least even, has a lot of damage, and, is able to set up big Rs for the team. Because SVU, they like the team fighting. A big R, would pull the Xin, would pull the Garen. The Lulu ult, though, is just... The Lulu ult, I think, is going to be a big pain for DH. We'll have to see how they can follow up on it. In terms of SVU's draft, I don't really think they have the same engage that they did in the last one. Although they had Lucian and Victor, and then in this one they have the Varus ult, I feel like the Ornn brought so much value to the comp. And we'll see how it goes. And so we're going to take a quick intermission before we hop into Game 2. Thank you for everyone tuning in and watching, and hopefully the DH boys can lock in a Game 2 and take it to Game 3 of this semifinal. See you guys soon. Hopping into game 2 of SVU versus DH. DH really need this one bad. I hope they win so that at least we go to a map 3. It would suck for your season to end on a 2-0. You at least want to put up a fight. And the last one, it was a fight. DH did have, a decent lead at one point in the game, but unable to build on it and eventually sipping away because of SVU's dominant team fighting inside the rivers. No bush play here for DH, opting to just spread 5 people across the map. Can we get a dance off? Oh, the Nunu's gonna hit it at no. Ooh. See, I would give that to DH. I think the dance in mid was a little bit better than the Vladimir's. And if dancing counts for anything, this will be a DH win.
Minions have spawned.
Yo, Brian. By the way, who would win between one gorilla and 100 humans? 100 people. Brian says a gorilla would win. I disagree. If anyone's in chat wants to comment on the predicament as we get into this early game, that'd be awesome. I'm team people. Brian's team gorilla. I just feel like if you send in like teams of people, like teams of 5 or 10 at a time, eventually the gorilla would get worn out. But nonetheless, Junior on this Nautilus, maybe looking to make practice plays. Oh, Max is chunked out by this Garen, spinning round and round in circles here. Garen also has Ignite, so that's. See, I don't know why SVU opted to play into the Garen. Not saying that it's a bad pick necessarily or that it doesn't work, but I feel like they got so much value out of picking the Ornn. And the Ornn with TP was able to TP early and to get into the fights and really impact the game. But Garen with Ignite, I feel like you're kind of playing to win your lane. But once the lane is done, you just don't have that great of like dragon contest, like great contest. That's honestly why SVU won the game, is they had 3 amazing dragon fights in a row where even though they didn't get the dragon, they pretty much cleaned up DH. So it's an interesting mix-up. Let's see how he does in lane. It looks like he's down a level, so Max will have the advantage if they opt to fight. Garen does have the Ignite, though, as Max will start to block this wave out. Let's see if Junior can make a play here on this Lulu pre-6. Opting to hold on to his hook. I like the Varus pick a lot, though. I think this is the first time ever watching SVU, but I feel like the Varus really leads into their play style, or benefits them in terms of team fighting, because that's what I noticed most, really. Can we get a CS check? A stat check. Let's see. Orianna 5 CS down. Not terrible. At this point in the game, on the Galio is a little bit painful as this Ignite goes down on the Lulu. Zinzao is here to cover, but it's a 3v3 on this bot side. Can they chase down the Varus? This may be a kill for Kismet. This Varus able to just walk out, but a 1-for-0 for the side on DH. Burning the Ignite. Whoa, you see what I did there? Burning the Ignite. That was good. Burning the Ignite to kill the Lulu right there. I'm actually such a wordplay genius, actually. As DH take the first blood for the second game in a row. Let's see. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy League and I cast a lot of League. I don't know what I don't know what Vladimir does. Hold on, let me look up what Vladimir does. What does Vladimir? I know he turns into blood and is like untargetable. But like, what does Vladimir even do? What is like his abilities? I know he like sucks blood. He's a battle mage, a type of mage that is similar to skirmishes but with magic damage. Okay. Okay, interesting. as of Admiral Base's stream, unfortunately crashing for a second. Let's see. I think the. Oh, did the game pause? A little bit of tech issues right there, but we are back. The game looks relatively the same. Max will look to shove this wave in and base. The Garen, again, no TP. It's going to cost him a lot of this wave, probably about 50% of it, as Lulu's looking to, or as Lulu is taking damage. Kismet is chunked out, and let's see what subs. No barrier used, but maybe Junior can look to pressure this Lulu if he decides to walk up too far, opting to not use it there, and just letting Varus play on the wave. Let's see what DH are setting up for. It looks like they're gonna go for an early grub setup, opting not to go for the Drake, which is perfectly fine. I think the grubs are really just so strong, right, to push in towers, and so this Nunu should be able to get these grub downs relatively quickly. Xin Zhao is on the bot side, maybe gonna look for a gank here, but DH opting to just let this wave slow push as Garen is walking. Maybe they can look for a 2v1 on this. The execute does land eventually for the Garen, and Max does need to get out. Is silenced by the Garen and pops his ult, but he is alive for now, as Garen is looking to shove in this absolutely humongous wave. That's kind of a mess from BH. Only getting one grub and then trading this this Drake over to SVU and Michael Yagubian. I'm not gonna lie, my MVP so far of the series might be Michael Yagubian. I really do feel like he's been everywhere so far in the game and change that we've watched. So stream crashing, I don't know what's going on. It's a few tech issues going on in the building, but we'll look to get that fixed as soon as possible. So going back to like the bear or the human and the gorilla, right? I feel like I've seen a lot of talk, right? If the first person, it doesn't matter what the first person does, right? The first person that goes, they're smoked, right? But then I feel like by like the 70th or 80th person, the gorilla would be like tired, like, because to fight off like one human, like you hear boxers talk about all the time how tiring boxing is and having to fight. And so imagine, even though the gorilla is much more athletic than a regular human, by like the 90th person, surely the gorilla has to be tired. I definitely think that 200 people would definitely beat a gorilla. That one, I'm so convinced. Like, no weapons, maybe like in a jungle, I feel like 200 people would definitely beat a gorilla. All right, let's see if the stream is coming back. Little bit of a issue still going on. It looks like the stream is frozen. Problems on the client side. Do I take like an intermission? All right, we're gonna do a quick intermission to try to get this fixed as soon as possible, and I will update you once this problem is fixed, and we can hop back into game 2 of this semifinal. All right, we are back, albeit with a little bit of a delay since the stream mishap. Big knockout from the Lulu ult. That should be 2 kills from the Vladimir. Nautilus looking to chase this down with the Orianna, but I don't think they can play this here. It's gonna be really sketchy. The Orianna just opted to run away, and the Nautilus basing instead. Wow, it's a big miss for DH. Giving up 5 grubs. That's just that's really tough. They opted to give up Drake, and they only get 1 out of 5. And this Nudu pick not paying dividends here in the early game, as SVU look to shift over to this Drake. They're pulling it out of the pit. This Lulu might get caught by this Orianna. No ult as well, but able to just walk away. It looks like SVU are basing and will give up this Drake, opting to play their advantage, which honestly I don't mind. You get 5 grubs, you kind of have the tempo of the game, and they already have 1 Drake, and so they're really just chilling. Jax TPing up to the top lane to match the Garen and clear out this wave. He is leveled down. But relatively even on CS, which is a good sign. That's honestly the most important thing, is that you are keeping up with the farm. As long as the farm is good, you always have a chance. But bot lane down 20 farm. That's an unusual sight from Kismet, but no death still, which is a good thing. Varus, I think, opting to go for I believe it's a crit build. I could be wrong. I believe that's what that is. Let's see what they can do. Let's see what DH can do. Orianna able to get the Ludens online now, as well as some sorcerer boots. And TPing back to mid lane to clear the wave. Honestly, the game state is. It's not the worst for DH. It's definitely still playable. They're definitely there in damage, like decently even. Just the problem is that they gave up grubs, right? And so if they can pull back some tempo and really get map control, the grubs won't hurt as much. As the Lulu snowball comes in, this should be a kill onto the Varus. The Lulu ult comes down, but Junior able to clean that up. Unfortunate that it doesn't go to the Xayah, as that's the much preferred target. But a kill is a kill. This Lulu is going to look to chase us down and 1v3. With the mechanical expression on that champ, but having to walk away instead with no angle. The Xin Zhao and the Vlad are here. Not gonna lie, I've been really impressed with SVU's rotations. I feel like they've done a really good job. Even though nothing comes to fruition on that play, I feel like they are very fast. When it comes to playing. Junior's going to walk down this Garen. Can they look to collapse on this? Yeah, they're pinging for it. Orianna's going to walk up. The Noodle Snowball is following. They should look for a hook right about now to collapse on the Garen. But no, they're just going to let the Garen walk away. As the Rift Herald spawns in, Jack should look to get some prio here, so maybe they can play on the Herald. DH really need to find a way to even it out. Also, I don't believe in the last game, DH did get the Herald. I believe, but I'm not too sure where it was used. I wasn't able to follow in the last game, but let's see. 3k gold down for DH. Not the best, but could definitely be worse. I think this Nunu needs to find a play. A lot of ping going down on this mid lane. Let's see, DH need to make a play. Maybe this Nunu on the top side. As the Xin Zhao starts to hit this Rift Herald, are they going to give it up? They are going to give it up. I don't think the macro from DH has good or has been as good as it was in the last match that they played, or even 2 weeks before. Maybe a little bit of a long break caused them to, you know, struggle to find their tempo a little bit. A lot to be desired in terms of macro. Like, they're giving up Drakes, they're giving up Grubs. Right there, Herald was completely uncontested. I understand they didn't have the waves and the manpower in order to go contest, but it's something that I feel like DH needs to be looking for as Varus pokes him out. Big hook able to land on the Varus. Caught again as the Nautilus ult comes out. Does the Lulu have the ult? Flash coming out from the Varus. Nunu is here though. Will land a snowball onto Lulu. They should be able to get this kill and walk this down. Big Root comes down. There should be 2 kills from Kevin with the easy double. Zinzao is going to look to walk this down, but 3 members of DH here should be able to stop this. The Vlad is walking down. Junior needs to get out. But they're going to look to chase this. Can Junior get out? Hooking into the turret, getting a shutdown onto Junior. They're going to double dive onto the turret, but the Zaya able to land the root onto the Vad. Vad, one more tower shot, and he's dead, but he's able to survive. That's honestly really well played by SVU at this Vlad here. But this Orianna is going to get the mid tower back, which in theory should be more valuable than the bot side tower. It's going to open up a lot of rotations on the map. It's going to give DH access to easy access to SVU's Raptors. And yeah, that's honestly it's not as pretty as you would have liked or as DH would have liked, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a pretty good play as DH looks to even out this gold lead down to about 2,000 gold, more or less. Can they get a Drake contest off here? A lot of pain going on from Junior. Hook lands on the Lulu. There should be an ult and a root gets Junior able to find the kill onto the Lulu. Can they contest this Drake? The spacing is a little bit questionable as DH will look to walk down onto this Drake. SVU really split up there. Almost like they're unready. The Garrett also not here. See, that's something that SVU was doing really good in the last game as the Garen takes down the Jax on the top side. But I feel like in that fight, SVU with the Ornn, they would have had, you know, a presence there, and they could have played around the Drake. A little bit of a scrappy fight, and typically not what I've come to expect from SVU in a Drake fight. Nonetheless, DH now with 2 Drakes, still at a gold deficit, and Garrett should hang on to this with the tower. That's fine, because towers are always there, as long as you get them. See, Vlad, can we go to the bot side? Looks like Vlad is camping in the bush right there, maybe waiting for the Orianna to walk up in order to make a catch. Orianna opting to make the wise decision, I believe, to live. Yep, just spacing it out. Orianna does have the range with her orb, if we're calling it that, with her orb. Can we get a stat check? Let's see. Oh, let's see the stats. Orianna 1-0, very even. The Zinzao getting a lot of values. 3 assists for the Zinzao. Two kills. The double on the boss side from the Nunu was super big, but really you're looking for a lot more impact from this Nunu. I feel like in the early game. Let's see what DH can do now. Still, the gold lead is not there, but they need to look into to press these towers to get their gold back. Oh, maybe a collapse. Hook, no good from Victor, or from the Nautilus, but able to knock up the Garen. Lulo comes down. Junior able to kill this Garen, and they're gonna look to kill this Zinzao. TP coming in from Crow as they're gonna look to start this Otacon. This could be the lead. DH needs to come back. Junior, I believe, has like 3 or 4 kills now. which is typically unheard of from this on. Is 4 kills and 4 assists. That's only to see great gameplay. As SVU looking to take down this mid tier 2 with the Baron buff. Wait, Baron buff? Am I blind? They have a purple. I might just be blind. I don't think it was a Baron buff. I think I'm just blind. SVU looking to base and reset. What can VH do? I think if they could stop one of these bases, but a little bit too far away, SVU able to get out, I think it would be really good to start looking into playing around this Garen. I think the Garen kind of only has one job here, is to match the Jax on side lane. And so maybe if this dude can set up a gank with his Jax, it can be a mega play. A GA as well for DH, so they can opt to go for something super aggressive here and not risk losing a lot of golden XP. Drake up here in about a minute. With Kevin here early as well, they're going to set up for this, but I think that is a ward on the river entrance, so they will be aware that Kevin's here. A lot of ping coming out, marking the Lulu, snowball coming in. No real impact from it though. Just going to set down some wards, get down some vision to make sure that they're able to play the team fight. DH also need to be careful as well, because yeah, it's this top fight look, but or this river look. This is the same exact look from last game, but no Arnold to start the engage. And so Garen's just going to need to wait for the fight to break out as Jax is walking down to match. The dragon has spawned. There's a lot of posturing going down. Xayah trying to poke them out. Hook landing, but doesn't go far. They're going to look to engage onto this. That's a big engage from the Jax. Counter-strike coming down. Lulu coming down. Jax able to get the shutdown onto the bad. Junior flashing out. Looking to punish the Garen. And they're going to look to chase this down. Max is in the back line. He should have his Q and Counter-Strike up. In a relative second, Polymorph comes out onto the Jax. He is going to go down. Counter-Strike, no good. But DH are able to zone them off and get the Drake. Honestly, that's where the Ornn would have been such a strong pick there, I feel like. I feel like I'm hyper focusing on this Garen pick, but really I'm not really sure if that's the optimal pick there. I feel like the Ornn has so much value and so much counter engage that it just would have punished DH with a lot of CC. And so now DH still not quite with a gold lead, but down to 1k gold and 1 Drake away from Seoul as they look to reset up for this Baron. See, this is a lot more even of a fight. The Orianna, albeit down in CS, is relatively on par with items. And so they're setting up for this Baron. Snowball is going to land on the Garen. They should look for the punish here. Just getting bursted down. I think they're going to start this. They should start the Baron. They opt not to start the Baron. Looking to walk down, take this mid control. Maybe looking to pressure this mid tier 2. A lot of pain going on in the bot river. 4 members of SVU looking to walk up, maybe for a collapse onto the Xayah, but the Xayah I believe has R, so he will able to Kismet will be able to avoid a lot of the CC thrown his way. It's really interesting. I wonder why DH opted not to go for the Baron after the Garen kill. Wow, Baron, Garen. I'm actually like rhyming, and like the wordplay is immaculate today. Not even on purpose. Varus able to get the Maramune online. A lot of items being bought. This is going to be a really big fight, I believe, for this Baron. DH, are you going to look to set up for this? I still can't believe they didn't go for the Baron after the Garen kill. I would love to get insight onto why they opted not to force it. I feel like it was there 5v4. They were all set up for it, and they kind of just postured in middle. Nonetheless, resetting for the Xin Zhao. They're just setting up vision. They're not going to force on this Baron super aggressively, which is fine for DH. Give them time to claw back into the game as the snowball is being pushed down mid. Able to land on the Lulu, but the Varus has a spell shield, so it's not the worst. I feel like a fight is due here. I'm not sure why DH are leaving the Baron up. A theory that I do have as pings come out for the Drake is they leave the Baron up so that both the Drake and the Baron are up at the same time, making SVU decide on which one to contest and giving DH options. But I'm not really sure if that's a big deal because I feel like the Baron has been up for a few minutes now. Maybe opting not to risk it and just play for this this Infernal Soul. Jax on this bot tower will get it, add a little bit of gold to the bank, and the gold is starting to even out now. It's like I said, towers are standing gold. Oh, big counter-strike landing on the Lulu. They should be able to kill this. Blast Cone doesn't land. Remains on the Nautilus. That's a big kill from Kismet and a big frag from the Jax. The Vlad is going to look to walk the Jax down, but really one Q and a W and a counter-strike could punish here. Burning the stopwatch. This probably is a kill still. Good cover from Xin Zhao. And the stopwatch usage pretty good too as well. Oh, he's going to look for it. The re-engage. Q. That's absolutely massive. Maybe a little bit too cocky from the Vladimir. Thought that Max had ran away. Queuing out. And the covers here. That's absolutely big for DH. Can they save the Jax? Stopwatch comes out. For the Jax, and they look to chase this down. Noodle ult should pop. The Xin Zhao counter-strike lands. That's a big double from the Jax. Ban out his Gnar. He can play the Jax. Ban Jax. I'm kind of haven't seen a lot, but those two champs, man, he is very, very good. He showed his consistency really throughout the entire season on those two champs. And his Shen as well. By the way, Shen getting buffed. I think just in the top lane, 3 champs is too much to ban, especially when you're worried so much about Junior. Crow just looking to get the CS on the wave, maybe push it out a little bit. Still no action on this Baron. I feel like I've been talking about this Baron for like 10 minutes now, and like no one has even looked to start it. Just a vision game right now. Can they find a counter-strike? No stopwatch on this Vlad. Maybe they should have the Q. 2 chases down. Will land. The stopwatch does come out, but counter-strike is there to stop this in out. Can he 1v2 this? No cover. Able to Q out with the ward. Stopwatch comes down. Maybe he can play onto the Vlad. Counter-strike. That's a big shutdown. Give it up on the side lane, but that will open up space for DH to go for the Baron eventually. I've been waiting so long for this as they look to poke this down. Once they go Baron, the Varus is here. Need to be careful for the steal. Maybe he can try to land a Q. It's too late. As this Nunu looks to roll his snowball away. Maybe drifting it onto the Varus, but the spell shield is really good against this Nunu. They're going to need to look to break it if they want to find any type of engage. DH got the soul? Did I miss that? When did they get the dragon? I've been watching the screen the whole time, but I feel like I must have not been paying attention. Because DH They have the Baron, they have the Drake. Can't ask for more. Good macro. As Noodle Snowball. Varus flashing away. Spell Shield gets broken, but Varus no flash. It's going to be a relatively easy engage if they look to go for it eventually. Nudu in a little bit of danger, able to get the root onto the Xin Zhao. The Xin Zhao chasing it down, but the big appeal from Junior. They're playing this. Xayah, a big root going down onto the Garen. This Orianna is playing, finding 2 kills on the Garen and the Lulu. Can they walk this down? See, this is an absolutely massive game from Crow as SVU look to steal this blue buff like a bunch of robbers. Can I get a stash check? 3-0-4, still down CS. Just will never be up CS, unfortunately, but DH playing a really, really clean game so far. The Xayah have, let's see, let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The Xayah might be a little behind just on CS, but it's not by a lot. As DH look to break this mid tier 2 and maybe start eyeing those inhibitors. See, right now DH just need to play a clean macro game, push in the waves with their Baron buff base, and build on their item advantage here. It's called the Baron power play for a reason. What objective is next here? Elder Dragon. Thank you, Kevin, for pinging it out for me. Elder coming up in 2 seconds. That is really the play in DH. DH, the lead's still not as big as you'd like it, but they should start to build on this lead with the Baron. SVU are opting for setting up vision on this top side, but I mean, they do need to be careful for the Nudu playing through top. They do spot the Jax out. Maybe he can find an engage onto the Vlad. I believe the Vlad does have the stopwatch. Garen looking for an engage onto the Orianna, but a good ult and appeal is here. This Garen is going to be dead again. Stopwatch, maybe... Oh, the stopwatch to stop the Garen execute. That's actually beautiful. Dragon's not quite up yet. But nonetheless, I think this Garen pick was a little bit suspect from SVU. Maybe they opted for it in order to counter against the Jax, but still, I'm not I feel like the Ornn had so much value in teamfights as the snowball rolls past the Xin Zhao, posturing for this this bot river to play for Elder. I think both teams know that this is really it. Because you can't really give up Elder. It's just too big of an advantage. But if you die, I mean, I presume the Baron is coming up soon as well. So pings for Jax to wait for the TPs, pushing the wave and walking down on his boss side. A lot of posturing going on for DH. This is going to be a super big fight. I wish I had some water because I feel like I'm about to be yapping. If like 8 deaths don't happen. Counter strike and hook. Double engage going down. Lulu coming down, but they're going to look to pressure this Lulu. Jax takes him down. They're going to look to disengage and maybe re-peel. Oh, the Xin Zhao having to flash out. They're peeling onto this Vlad. They're going to look down for the Garen. This is absolutely massive. Big hook coming down. Garen able to take down the Nunu, but Kismet trading for the Garen. That's a 3v1. Can DH look to pressure? Maybe Elder? Xin Zhao is alive though. Kevin very aware of the possibility that the Xin Zhao could walk in and outsmite DH. DH need to be careful here. The Xin Zhao is walking up, does have smite. Maybe they need to drag this Drake out of the pit. Down to about 1/3 of the way now. Xin Zhao really no vision, no angle. Kismet's gonna look to zone him off. They have sights on him. But they're not looking to finish Drake. He's just going to poke them out with the Infernal Soul. Does so much damage. Jax counter-striking or queuing to the Blast Cone. They're going to look to play it on the Xin Zhao. Big root comes down. The jungler should be dead here. Can we go Elder? That's a big find. And Kevin is up. They really should look to play for this Elder here. Vlad having to catch a top wave. Just waves need to be caught right now. DH has so much tempo and a big kill. Big find. Onto the Xin Zhao. This Elder is theirs. And Baron is up as well. In about a minute, so. Yup, they're moving. Maybe Jax can go push out this top wave. Dudu does a lot of damage to the Baron. Do they look to start this? They are pinging. They are going to start this, I believe. Yup, they're knocking it down. Down to about 1/10. 1/4. It's almost there, only with 2 people. When Kismet gets here, it's pretty much going to be depleted. And SVU really have no way of stopping this with no jungler. DH, the macro is immaculate. I mean, the team fighting here has just been so good, and not having the Ornn, definitely a miss for SVU, I feel like. DH pushing in this inhibitors with the Baron. I think this is over. Snowball coming in. I believe it does connect with someone, but it's a little off my screen. Hook doesn't land, but they're just looking to shove these waves in. DH are just too strong. They have Elder. They have Baron. SVU, they don't really have an engage here to play on this. Big snowball. Drift. Lulu having to flash out. Versal misses. That's a way in. Can Junior land a hook to start the engage here? Kevin should have ult. Hook. Oh, misses by Pixel. Nearing down this Garen, but Counter-Strike comes in on the Xin Zhao. Lulu being used, but the Xin Zhao is gone, depleted. Victor having to do the stopwatch, but Kevin absolutely obliterating SVU. Jax looking to chase this down. Popping a stopwatch. This should be GG's for DH as they send this to a map 3. Wait, Vlad with 2 kills though. Maybe he can outplay, but just no chance. The wave is too big. The Counter-Strike comes down. NT from the Vlad, but that is game 2 taken by DH, sending us to a map 3 of our NECC semi-final.
I'm in the groove, watch me, I just can't lose. It's looking so brand new, anything that we can do.
Game 3 of this semifinal. Little bit of a draft mix-up coming in here. SVU opting to ban the Orianna, leaving the Ari open. So that's why we have the Ari. And honestly, I think it is Crow's best champ really in this Aurelia matchup. Oh, a little bit of a dance-off battle. I don't know. I think the Nudu dance, he kind of be hitting that. Right now we're 100% ratio on dance battle wins relative to actual game wins. So I think dancing is really important in this mid lane. But nonetheless, Aurelia coming out, Seraphine, Thresh on the side of SVU. The Malphite picked in the first phase of bans, where DH were banning it in the second phase, so they opt to pick it early in exchange for some of their ADC picks being banned out. Yeah, this is going to be a game. I think DH have, they still have the Nunu to play the early game aggressively. The Seraphine could be looking for a charm here. Hook doesn't land. That's a little bit of a mess. Big Q from Junior. That's a decent chunk of damage. And this 1v1 Jax versus Malphite, I think it's going to be a matchup that we need to keep our eye on, because the Jax did come online very late into the game and cause a lot of pain, especially on the side lane and in team fights. The counter strikes were big. The Q just has so much mobility. Getting chunked out right here with a Malphite. By the way, Malphite Qs might be some of the most annoying things, but good short trades coming out. Both the top laners have grasp, looking to just farm and play their life, play good trades. As there's a lot of fighting going on the side of the map, Flash having to be used by Kismet, but hitting level 2, Junior's going to look to walk this down. Thresh relatively chunked out. If Kismet didn't get ignited, maybe he could have been in there to look for the kill. Q misses, just goes around the Seraphine completely. The Seraphine's out of mana, so DH can look to start to put the pressure on and start to push out this wave. Kismet's a little bit low, but just need to be careful for the hooks. Max looking to push in this wave, finally hitting level 3, level advantage. But Malphite's just sitting under tower, a lot of HP. It's going to be pretty impossible to get a kill here or even risk going for a trade. Yep, taking a tower shot right there, a little painful. Malphite could walk this down with the Q, but opts to just keep hitting the wave. Believe that's probably biscuits that are being popped, to be honest. Biscuits or a potion is being popped by Jax to give him sustain in this lane. Relatively even. We'll need to be careful of this Xin Zhao, though. Probably will crash the wave and base relatively soon before the Xin Zhao finishes up the Krugs. Let's see where Kevin is. Kevin is on this bot side. And I would love to see an early gank come in from Kevin. I think a mid gank at some point could be really good. This wave should be bouncing back for this Aurelia. Yep, need to be careful. Jax opting to back up. Seraphine gets taunted with the Nunu. Oh, the Thresh Lantern. That's absolutely huge. That would certainly be a kill on the Seraphine without the Thresh. So, well played from the side of SVU. But they do need to be careful. Kevin looking to walk up on this boss side. Xin Zhao is here as well. He could gank, but Jax should have the Q and the counter strike. Should let a stun and a Q. He is out. He should live. Flashing out, maybe not necessarily, but better safe than sorry to prevent the lead. Good trade there from Doombot Pike. W doesn't land, able to land the charm on to the Aurelia. Aurelia is something that's previously given DH's problem, but specifically on the top side, and so it'll be interesting to see how Crow is able to play this mid lane matchup. Right now, he is actually doing very, very solid, just able to chunk out this Aurelia and just sit and farm under tower. I think the really key point for Crow is to play a really good lane state and look to make his impact after the 15 to 20 mark. Right now, he just needs to farm hard, take good trades, and really try to build an advantage here, or stay even. Really, either one is good. As there looks to be some fighting on this top side. This Jax is very low, but Malphite, I think without the Qs, doesn't have very much pressure in order to walk up and poke. Counter-strike comes out. That's a big chunk. Galio engaged onto the Thresh. Flash is bad. This Thresh should be dead. Flail able to knock the Galio away, but getting dragged towards the tower. There's no way for Galio to play this. Pulling. There's a massive fight here. The Aurelia is here. The Aurelia does. I don't know why I'm blanking on the Xayah. The Aurelia does find the kill, and a kill on Junior as well. So that's a really good gank from the SVU mid and jungler to force this advantage. Go to TP back into lane as Malphite hits level 6 and starts to base. This should be a SVU Dragon. Relatively uncontested. A little bit split really from Junior. He did find a good engage and maybe could have killed this Thresh, but the Thresh flail just able to space him away and give time for the Xin Zhao to come peel and help him out. SVU will confirm the first Drake of the game and the first kill. Can we cancel this base? Seraphine able to get out. What can DH pay for? They're gonna ping to push the wave, I believe, as Seraphine TP's back. This Jax needs to be careful. Malphite is level 6, does have the ultimate online. That could really set up a gank from the jungler here. A decent trade. This Malphite is really just so tanky. So it's going to take a lot of trading to get him into a killable position. And again, needs to be super careful. Kevin on these grubs. I think a super important thing is to make sure that they actually get these grubs. Maybe at least 2 or 3. I don't think 1 is really good enough. Good trades coming out for Max here. This Malphite is very chunked out relative to before, and is going to have to defend this wave. Malphite with okay wave clear, but not much. Jax is going to look to cancel this base. Good sidestep, by the way. Max, I think his mechanics have been super on point this past few weeks. I've been really impressed because he was okay before, but his champ pool was somewhat limited. But I think he's really found a step of growth on the Jax and on the Gnar. So he's become a really valuable player in this squad. Charm does land as we have a fight on this boss side. Taunt comes down. DH are a level up on their support. Xayah not yet 6, so need to be careful for the Seraphine ult. Skill shot doesn't seem to land right there. Cannon does get the cannon. Maybe they can look for a re-engage here. Once Xayah hits level 6, with the ult, should be able to dodge whatever SVU throw at them and find kill pressure. Big taunt, only level 4. They should be able to kill this. Looking to go in. The Seraphine ult does come out, but the Galio ult is here to peel to provide a little bit of armor, and the Xayah does escape. Jax looking for these trades on the top side. There's a lot of action happening all across the map right now. Xin Zhao is in the river, so no need for Jax to really worry, but this Malphite still has his R up. He could re-engage with the R, and it could be a dangerous game. Seraphine unable to cancel this Galio's base. That's honestly such good tempo. The base is going to be late. DH's bot lane will be there earlier. I think this Malphite's looking for a way in. The way he's posturing right now, I feel like he really wants to bait a tower dive, but Max isn't going to fall for it. He's going to walk down. He should base. And if we could get an item check really quickly from my producer, Jen, that swapped in for Brian. So shout out to Jen, our Esports Club president. Are you retiring? Unfortunately, this is your tenure. What is it? Presidency? Yeah, this is the end of her presidency. But you did good. By the way, I asked Brian this. Who do you think would win? 100 people or 1 gorilla? Yeah, in like a forest. As the fight goes down on this boss side, a big kill going down onto the Thresh as I wait for Jen's answer on the... Jen also says people. So right now in the booth, we are currently 2 people think the people would win, and then 1 person think a gorilla would win. So if you haven't already, type 1 if you think the people would win. 100 people would win versus the gorilla. Type 1 in chat. Yeah. Also type 2 in chat to show love. I don't know. Just type any number, really. Any number works. We appreciate all the viewers popping in for this game 3. as DH starting to get into this game. Really, they gave up a double, but they've gotten this Thresh back. I think this Thresh is. I mean this in like the kindest, respectful way possible. I think from watching the Thresh in Game 3 and Game 1, I think the consistency of play is not quite there. Although they do make big plays, the consistency is not there, if that makes sense. As more trades look to be happening on the mid side and the top side, Xin is here and walking. They need to be DH need to be careful on this invade. I believe they are going to ward the Raptors. They do. There could be a little bit of a crunch though. Aurelia is walking down. DH now in a little bit of a crunch. There's multiple crunches going on. Flash coming out from Junior. Taunt lands. Zaya is looking to poke this out. Junior able to live for a pretty long time, but Jungler's unable there to cover. Not a lot of CC. That's honestly a good find onto Junior. Unable to ult out as Max looks to trade on his Malphite. That's actually a lot of damage. SVU looking to get onto this Drake. Pretty good macro, to be honest. I think SVU probably are one of the tougher matchups in terms of macro that I've seen DH play. I do think they're really like about on the same level in terms of macro, and so who really wins this game is going to come down to the margins. You know, who makes a bigger play, who makes misplays. Like landing ult is going to be super important. Healing for your ADC as Aurelia gets chunked down, or Xin Zhao. I can't really tell. It was Xin Zhao who gets chunked down. And I believe he's just going to do his Raptors and likely to base. This CH bot side has given up a few kills, but I feel like there's a lot of pressure, especially the Seraphine, who is beginning to get low on mana. Maybe they can look for an engage if they can space this out. Root comes down, but not much. Kevin unable to drift the snowball. Charm doesn't land. That's a nice try from DH to keep pressure on this Aurelia. I like the amount of pressure that Crow has really gotten on this Aurelia. I think so far in the game, he's flash out. The minion took the charm. As the snowball rolls in, maybe they can find a taunt. Taunt doesn't land, but they're looking for this Xin Zhao. Can they play this? Xin Zhao, a big root. Galio comes down. This should be a double. A big Sonic to Aurelia. Charm lands. CC chain. Big shutdown from Crow, and the 3v2 in the mid lane from DH is so good. Propelling them to now take the gold lead. 0.1. We take that, by the way. What is that? 100 gold? We take 100 gold lead, by the way. Jax looking to trade big on this Malphite. Malphite has ult, so he should be like completely fine either way, but he's actually taking a big trades. Xin Zhao is not alive, so no game threat really. I think the Jax has done a really good job of keeping this Malphite in lane, and that's something that DH is going to need to look out for throughout this game, is how can they unleash the Jax, right? Because I think Malphite as a champion generally wants to play a team fight as Kevin looks to land the snowball and this chain CC into the root, into the taunt. Seraphine does kill the Zaya, but this Thresh, this Thresh is being caught. Granted, there's just so much CC. As Xin Zhao looks to engage onto the Nunu, taunt comes down onto Kevin. Seraphine gets 2 on the shutdown. This Seraphine is just doing so much damage through waves. I think this APCs are just not I don't rock with it. Charm goes wide, but Aurelia does take a tower shot, so all in all, not a bad trade as Jax looks to fight and make good trades. Xin Zhao might be caught. Kismet able to get the root down. Likely Aurelia here to cover as the Ahri walks down. Ahri should go back to their lane and start to shove this wave in. I think DH really need to be careful when fighting, because I think it really takes away from their farm. I think it's especially important for Crow to have to have good farm, because with his farm, he's done a really good job of converting that into plays and into damage, especially on these mages. Whereas in a game where he was on Galio, like in the first game where he overgrouped and tried to help and, be a team player, which I can respect, but he just fell off so immensely that he almost had no impact. And so Crows needs to be careful, make sure he's getting his farm up. Maybe he be willing to sack the team play a little bit more, especially like in that bot jungle where he could be pushing in his wave and getting a little more prio. Again, the game state is relatively even. 6 grubs for DH, which I had not been keeping track of. Grubs really strong. Getting changed, by the way, down to 1 grubs, and the buff should not be as strong as Jax is looking to trade on this. The Malphite does have ult, and he's just so fast. And so, the Q re-engage, I don't really know. I think Max has done a good job of fighting these trades. Oh, the Nunu Snowball is here. Flash having to come out, but the splash lands. That's a beautiful kill onto the Malphite. As Max goes down, I think the Malphite could have ulted out possibly, but maybe just not reacting. Thresh fail doesn't land, even though he landed the hook onto the Ahri. So this, I think Crow has done a super good job in this early game of just staying alive and farming. Aurelia, W looking to engage in. All comes down, charming out. Galio is here at the knockup and the re-engage from the Ahri. This is beautiful. The taunt comes down. The Thresh is here. Maybe they could look for a punish. The charm should be coming out relatively soon. If you can R forward and E, that'd be beautiful, but it's just not there. Big find onto the Aurelia from Junior. He's been really all over the map this game and setting up his teammates as well as Kevin. And so this is honestly well played from DH. DH need to be careful of this Drake. Not that I think they can get there anymore, but that's 3 Drakes now for the side of SVU, unless, no, it's virtually impossible for DH to get here now. And so that's 3 Drakes on the side of SVU. DH really needs to be careful that they're working around this soul. They did get Herald, I believe. Could I get a scoreboard? As the taunt comes down, the snowball comes in. Good follow through onto this Thresh. I can't see the Rift Herald anywhere, but they should find a kill onto this Thresh. Engage for the Malphite finally comes out. Lands a shutdown onto the Ahri. That's the Malphite engage that we were talking about. That's really all the value that he's had this game is just pressing R onto the Ahri, but it works out and it virtually kills the team fight for DH. I think the really important part of DH's game needs to be to keep Max on the side lane and keep pressure on this Malphite to match, because I don't think this Jax can really play. Needs to be careful here. There's 3 members of the SVU team here. Counter-strike comes down. The Galio is here. Where is Kevin? There's a big fight going on. Big taunt comes down. Maybe we can find a kill onto the Jax. But there are 3 members here. Jax finally kills Thresh. The Jax should die, but counter-strike comes down. Seraphine on a rampage. Snowball looking to zone them off. Maybe looking to pressure this Aurelia here. Very low taunted. Ult comes down as well. Should pop. Able to find a kill. Zinzao with the re-engage. Can they replay this? Xayah ult comes down. Can he pull back? Big charm, by the way, onto this Malphite. What a scrappy fight. I believe each team went 3 for 3. For, relatively no reason. I'm not really sure what either team was doing in that fight, but nonetheless, it's an okay fight. It's one of those where no one really gained anything, but it was really close to really swinging either way. If DH maybe gets 1 more kill on the Seraphine, gets the shutdown, that's a massive swing. On the flip side, if SVU can kind of I feel like they didn't really find a good engage in together. I feel like if the Zinzao and the Malphite had all engaged, at generally the same time and chained their CC, I think that could have been massive damage, maybe even a wipe for SVU. Goal difference 2,000. Not really sure where that's coming from, but nonetheless, 2,000 gold, not the worst. Maybe about a component per person. So the Seraphine is super fed, by the way. Level 12 relative to the Xayah's level 10. Hook comes down from the Thresh, but Galio able to dash away relatively safely. Yeah, they need to find an engage on the Seraphine, and I don't exactly know where it can come from. I think it's going to come down to, it needs to be a counter strike or a charm. DH do have CC, but I'm not really sure. It's gonna be hard to find the angle. This Thresh might be. Oh, big stun. And they're gonna find an engage onto this Ari. I'm not really sure what that was from Crow, but SVU are gonna look to start this Otacon. That's a little bit of a mess there. As DH will look to get a trade back onto this middle tower. Seraphine TPing to catch the wave. But DH really needs to be careful with getting caught. I think right there, just needed to be aware of the wards really, or being aware of the vision of what we have and don't have. I think that's super duper important. They each have done a good job of opening up the map, though, I will say, with these towers. Especially with mid-tier 1 down, gives you a lot of space in order to move and shift around. Jax will be looking to pressure this bot side. By the way, SVU did not get the Otacon, which is really good for DH. The Otacon is just so tanky, really. Just clearing out vision. A lot of pings going on. Teams are setting up for the Drake relatively early. They need to be careful for this Malphite. This Malphite is here on the bottom side and can walk up and ult on any moment. I really think a good way for DH to play this is to not commit fully to the dragon and maybe send Jax towards this top side, albeit is a little late now for that, but this Malphite in team fights currently, I think with his art, is just much stronger. As Junior is in the bottom, but he's the only one there. I think that's a little bit of a mistake from Junior. Not really able to find the engage. Big charm coming out from SVU, and they're gonna look to chase this down. That's a big mistake. The Xayah able to get out, but Junior kind of in no man's land. He doesn't have the damage to follow up on it. His team are 3 people in the topside river, maybe getting a little bit of tunnel vision there. And SVU should get this Otacon. DH don't have anyone in position to stop it. The Jax walking towards the top side in order to push out this wave. Yeah. So the map state is not bad for DH. They do give up the Otacon and the GA. So they really need to be careful. Malphite purchases the Frozen Heart, and so that's going to really neuter the attack speed of the Jax. Let's see what DH can do. Like I said, DH need to find a coordinated dive on to the Seraphine. I think Max has done a really good job with, trying to find these engages, especially in the second game. But in this game, I think it's going to be really hard. The Charm has so much peel. The Thresh has so much peel. And these AP carries are really getting to DH right now. The game is definitely not too far gone. One fight, and it is back in DH's favor. But SVU are definitely in a position to win this. Kidman having to flash out. Charm lands onto the Thresh, and they're going to look to poke this out. As they find a kill onto the Xayah, they're going to look to defend this this mid-tier 1 with 3 people as Max is tied up with Aurelia. Our Charm doesn't land. Xin Zhao does land though, and having to flash away from the Seraphine ult. The Seraphine is just getting immense value, really. I think DH need to find a way to fight this that doesn't benefit the Seraphine. With the Malphite, I mean, even the Aurelia, the Seraphine, they're really good at fighting in chokes. And so, where can you fight that's not in a choke? As the snowball lands onto the Malphite, I'm not exactly sure when the GA is going to run out, but it'd be perfect timing as the charge does not land. The Galio is not there, and SVU look to start this Baron. they do have GA, but they're only about half HP each. As 4 people start to knock this down, a lot of pings coming through, TP coming down. DH are going to need to get a fast contest on this, but SVU, they're really slow on getting this Baron down. I thought they would be a lot further as the Malphite TP's in. Can they find a kill on this Malphite? They really need it before you can get an R off. Big ult coming down. That's massive knockup onto 4 as DH start to clean this up. This Jax able to take down the Seraphine eventually as they find... Wait, the GAs ran out! The GAs ran out! That is insane timing from DH as they find all 5 of SVU. That is crazy. Do the Baron. Now they're just going to opt to base. But that is insane timing. They find all 5 just as the GAs run out. That is an absolute horror for SVU. No, that is so unlucky. 30 seconds earlier, SVU are saying, nah, don't worry about it. But, oh my god, that is insane. The gold lead swinging back down to only 1,000 gold. They're paying to do this Baron. 12 seconds on the Xin Zhao. Portals coming out. DH not starting this Baron quite yet. Opting to reset and reset the waves. I don't think getting those kills, they didn't really have the HP or the time to finish this Baron, and so they're just going to opt to reset. Albeit stopping the Baron play from SVU. Also, SVU has Soul, by the way. I've been really bad at keeping track of this for Soul, but they do have it. And so that's just going to be an extra factor for SVU if they want to close out this game. Maybe they can look to fight on the Baron, you know, with the extra damage. You know, I think DH have done a pretty good job of fighting with the Galio so far. Just the amount of CC that they have. I mean, really, both teams have CC. And so it's what makes these fights so close. Spotting out the Xin Zhao. Super aware. Yo, SVU have done a really good job at keeping their Malphite within the fight and swapping depending on the objective. That's something that I can really commend. And I can tell that SVU really do play with this Malphite a lot because or at least have experience with it, because I feel like their macro around the Malphite has been super duper good. A little bit of bushies going on, a lot of pings going out. Pings to match and a pings to push midwave. They're just gonna push this midwave out and play from topside river, I believe. DHs. This Malphite is just free farming down a level on the Jax, albeit. Can they find an engage? They need 4 members here from SVU. They do really need to engage here. And they need to find the Seraphine. The Seraphine is a problem. No hit on the skill shot. What can DH do? What angles can they find? Thresh hook misses. Maybe they could look to re-engage. They're going to look to walk and take this space. They're just cheesing the bush. This Thresh is in. Flail does land. Counter-strike comes in. Lands a stun onto the Aurelia, but stopwatch having to be used. The Galio is here. They're looking to play front to back. Big taunt coming out. That should be 2 kills. 1 on the Xin Zhao, 1 on the Aurelia. Jax is on the Seraphine, but no bueno. Malphite is here to cover. That's a kill onto the Thresh. Maybe they can 1v2 the Malphite. Big knockup. They're just needing to disengage. Galio with the double kill. The Seraphine's going to look to chase this down. This Malphite should be able to land some Qs. A channel taunt and an E away should get him free and flash out as well. 3v3 or 3 for 3 on the side of, well, on both sides, really. That is a gnarly fight. I mean, SVU able to get the advantage. They're going to start pushing these towers just because the Seraphine is so healthy. This new snowball, wow, that is fast, Kevin. But very, very wide. The Seraphine is a huge issue. Could we get a stat check, please? The Seraphine, 9-1 and 9. I mean, putting in absolute pain. Kismet's not doing too bad himself with the upgraded boots. But still, I mean, they just need to find, if they can find an angle onto the Seraphine, the game is over. I think DH have really done a good job of neutralizing, everyone else, the Aurelia and whatnot, pings for Baron here, as SVU are going to look to go for the Elder. So maybe a little bit of a trade here going on for both teams. DH opting to take the Baron, and SVU are going to take the Elder. DH need to be careful though at how much time they are putting into this Baron. I wonder how quickly they're getting it. Down to about 4,000 health, 3,000, 2,000. I think they should be good. As also Jax takes this topside tower, they're gonna base with the Baron buff, and they should be very, very fine. Max, slow base because not participating in the Baron, but DH gonna reset. Ooh, Aurelia able to dodge the Nunu snowball. To look for an engage. I mean, this 2v2 fight on the side is honestly a fight that I think benefits DH if they can like land their CC chain. The Seraphine is split up. Again, find a Seraphine and the game is over. Just clearing the wave. 5 members here for SVU, just looking to shove in these waves and stop the utilization of the Baron buff. They're bush seizing right now. DH need to be really careful of how they step and what they clear. Does anyone have a blue ward? Hook doesn't land. A big fight on the tower. 5 members looking to push this down. Already down to about half HP, is getting chunked down. Charm doesn't land, gets spaced out. Thresh is really aggressive walking up. DH have all 5 members here. If there was ever a chance to find a kill onto the Seraphine, the Seraphine does have ult, so what angles can they find? Maybe a back TP would be the best option, but still, it's a risky play that might not produce anything as SVU start to walk away and start shoving in these waves. DH at a real disadvantage here. DH down to about 5k gold now, or down 5k gold to the side of SVU. The Seraphine is absolutely demolishing CSUDH just because of the sheer amount of CC and AoE ability that is being used. Yeah, DH need a way in on the Seraphine. This Nunu's having a really hard time of finding an engage onto the Seraphine. I mean, no real way to go over walls either. Really, the best case scenario is finding a massive charm or counter-strike, but the peel is just there. They're like holding hands with the Seraphine. It's virtually impossible to get through. If they get close, Malphite will just R, Zinzao will press R. It should protect the president at this point. As SVU start to shove in these waves. Snowball, maybe landing on the Seraphine, does land the knockup. Looking to Galio ult in, but where's the Seraphine go? Oh, got peeled out. Counter-strike is on. Can they find a kill? Seraphine flashes out. Jax will look to chase. Seraphine ult does come down. He's looking to chase this down, but the peel is there. Having to use the stopwatch. The engage was there. On the stopwatch on the Seraphine. They DH used so much to find a kill on the Seraphine, but the peel and the flash and the stopwatch, it was just all there. It was unplayable. And SVU are just going to look to knock down these towers. Just pushing these waves. Zaya trying to R the wave. Malphite is just too big, but Charm lands onto Malphite. Malphite not really flinching all too much. So much HP as he starts to push out these waves. This spells the end for DH unless they can find something onto the Seraphine, but I don't see it. Seraphine is able to space so much of this out. Charm, no good. Kevin goes down. And they just hit the Nexus. As DH's season comes to an end. 2-1 against SVU. Oh, it's so unlucky. As SVU take map 3 and advance to the finals. Nice try, Dominguez Hills, but your season is over.